Hello everyone, I'm Hannes, a software engineering student at McLear University, and today I'm going to explain Django and its architecture, that is MVT. So, without wasting much of our time, let us start. So, Django is a Python web framework which uses an architecture called MVC, as we are going to take a look at it. So, this is its architecture. It's called MVC. So the M stands for model, then the V stands for view, and then the T stands for T. Just like other frameworks, for example, Laravel, which uses MVC. This MVT is also the same as MVT, but it has like there is there is a small difference, but it's almost the same. So let us begin by explaining the M, which is the model. So the model is simply mean simply for the model, it simply handles the database. For example, let us consider a student model with name and age. Name and age being the attributes. Then the V, that's the view. For it handles the logic and data flow. For example, a function that gets students and then shows them. Then when we talk about the T is the template. The template for it harbors the HTML and then the Django template language. For example, the web page displaying student and the user that the user can see. So, in simple terms, the view connects connects the model and the template. So it means that the view it gets the data from the model, that's the database, and then displays it to the user through the template. So now let us go to real coding. We are going to start by creating our model and then the view and then the template. So these are the requirements you must be having. In your PC, you must have installed Python, the latest version of Python, and then the latest version of the Django framework. So let us start. So let me come to my desktop and then I create a folder, then I name it, let me name it Django. Django. Then I'm going to open this file with Visual Studio Code. Feel free to use any other IDE. You can use PyCharm and many other IDEs available, so long as it can do the same work. So, as I earlier told you, you must have installed Django and Python in your PC. So, we are going to create the project. So in Django, this is how we create the project. So simply bring out your command line by pressing Ctrl, then Alt. Then after in Django, this is how we create the project. You simply type Django admin, then project. Start project, which is not separate. Start project in the name of our project. Since we are going to explain MVT, let me call it what? MVT. So now you can see inside our folder there is another folder called MVT. When we try to see its contents, we will see MVT, another folder inside MVT. Then we will also see manage.py. So maybe let me try to explain. Let me try to explain the MVT and yeah. So let me try to explain the files inside this project. So we have the init.py. This one is the one which helps Django to recognize this folder as the package. When we have ASGI, then we also have WSGI. These ones are far beyond our scope, the one we are going to discuss. Because for this one, they help you major when you're going to deploy your Django project to the cloud. Yeah. Then we have the setting.py. So this is where you register your templates, where you register your apps and all other settings. This is where you register your database you're going to use. Then we also have the manage.py. py. So this manage.py, this file for it, we don't change it. It's the one which manages your entire project. For example, it is used to run your server as you're going to see it. So so now let us change the directory to the project you've created. So we can do cd then mvt. So as I told you, this file for it help us manage our entire project. So let us try by running after python manage.py manage.py then run server. Now you see they are saying that our start involvement server is running at this port. So when you hover over it, then you follow its link, it will show you that has been successfully, it has installed successfully. So without wasting the, much of a time, let us now start explaining what MVT is. As I told you, MVT is model view template. Model, the one which handles the database, then the one which handles the logic and the data flow, and then the template, the one which shows the web pages and the other and the front end JavaScript. So we are going to begin by creating our our model. But before we do that one, you see, now we need to create an app. So what's an app? So an app, imagine like you create, imagine like WhatsApp. Let's take an example of WhatsApp. An app can be like, for example, if you want to create an app which is like WhatsApp, an app can be like, for example, an app for groups, then an app for communities, then an app for the user. So that's how that's what it means by an app in Django. So let's create an app. So in Django, this is how we create an app. Let's use another terminal. So change the directory to MVT. So an app is created by Python by using this command Python manage.py managing.py then start app. The name of your app, let us call it home. So if you take a look into the MVT folder, you'll be able to see another folder called home. When you expand it, you will see there is a file for admin, there is a file for app, there is a file for model, there is a file for test, and then there is a file for use. So since we are going to create models, we should first register our app in the settings. So we'll go to the our project folder and then we go to settings. So in settings, this is where we register our apps. You can see the installed apps. These are the installed apps, how the admin, the also the content types and others. So we are going to register our app here by simply coming here. I think even when you open the home app, you will be able to see a folder called app. So when you open it, it will show that it's a class home config, then its name is home. So if you come and copy this home config the way it is, come and copy it, Control plus C for Windows, or those ones on Mac HC, Command plus C, then you go to the settings folder, then you register your app here. Mm, our app is called home. It's called home. Then you dot apps. Then you dot the one which you copied. Control plus V. Yeah. So then you save your what? Your folder. So Now we've registered our 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 app. But all along me, I will be using I'll be using Postgres as the database. But Django by default it comes with SQLite 3 as the database. I think you can even see it here. See this one. It comes with SQLite 3 by default. But for me, since I don't have SQLite 3 Studio on my PC, then I'll be using Postgres database. But even if you don't have any database engine installed on your PC, still you can be able to follow along this tutorial. So now now let me first change the database to use Postgres. But as I told you, if you don't have any database engine, feel free to follow to to f- to to follow this story. It's okay, it's fine. But me, okay, for further explanation, I need to use the database. So this is where the settings for database is. You can see by default it comes with SQLite 3, but me I will use Postgres. So I will say that database engine is Postgres, then SQL. Then I will I will be then the name of our database. Let's call the name of our database as simply MVT. Yeah. Uh, as I'm going to show you how you can create it in the Postgres SQL. So then thereafter we have our database name. Then we shall be also having also require the owner of the owner of the database owner of the database that will be also Postgres small letters Postgres. Then the then the password, this is the password I'm using, but I've just made it simple for this story, but this is not the password I use. I used this, now I'm using simple for this story, I'm using 1 2 3 4. Then we also need to specify the host where we need to be hosted this database. So let us also say host the host uh will be will be hosting it at our localhost. So yeah, so that's it. I think we are done with setting the the database. So let me create the database in my Postgres. So you come and say pg admin. But as I told you, if you don't have another database engine on your piece, again you'll be able to follow along with this story. So don't worry. Or if you have any, for example, MySQL, for example, SQLite, even if you have the non-relational database, for example, MongoDB and others, feel free you'll be able to to follow along. So here this is how we what we create our database. So you come here on servers, you can see on servers. Yeah, so here this is where you create our database. So you come here on databases, right? Then you say create a new database. So you name the database as earlier. Then in our setting is .py. We decided to call it MVT. Then we say what? We say save. So they have said MVT already what? Already exists. Maybe let me call it Django. Okay. Let me call it okay, let me call it Django, right? or database. Let me call it. Let me call it Django. Okay, let me call it any name. Feel free to call it to use any name. So let me do what? Let me save. So when I save, it will be created here. So this means that we are also to go to our settings. Then we change the MVT to Django. Yeah. So we are what? Now we are at the part. So let's create our our models. I said we are going to follow the architecture MVT. We are going to first create the model, then the views, then the the template. So we will come to our home, then we create a file for models is there, right? So you see that there is from Django from Django DB import models, and then they are saying that you create a model here. This one you don't need it. So I will say class. So in Python, this is how we create models. You say class, then class student. It will be inheriting this class, which is models dot model. Then then the field is how I said he said that we want to follow this example. A student model with name and then age, which are the fields. So we will say name is equal to models dot Sheffield Sheffield. Then we specify the number of characters max. Then max then we set for example to 100 should not exceed 100 characters. Then we say age is equal to its models to be in it's of course to be an integer dot integer field dot integer field it's here. Yeah, so you can what you can see we created our model. So our model this model of our, let us register it in the admin. So you come and to the admin folder and you say that um, it will be class. Let us use class student admin student admin. It should be taking um, admin dot model admin. Then there is this when we are registering the or when we are creating the students in the admin side, this we want to specify how they will be displayed. So we can go to list display. For example, we set it to a topo, it must be a topo shift, then a topo which will be name and age. Yeah, so if you want, you can also put the list filter, but let us use list display. Let us make that. So there are many things you can do here. So now let us register it. It will be say it will be admin dot site dot register. Then our model it's student. Then again student admin. Now you see the the student our student mode is being is being like underlined. That means we have not imported it. So we need first import it from the models file. So we say from Since the models file is in the same directory, will be from dot models. Then import our student class. Now you see it disappears. Then we do what? We save. Go to save all. Now, how do we need what we need to? We have to create the super user. So this is how we create super user in Python. You say Python manage dot py create super user, create super user. Then you press what? You press you press enter. Now you see they are saying that connection here is an error. Maybe the error is self.get.connection. It's come. Maybe the error is being caused by our maybe we've not run the migrations. So let's first go to our our settings and we see how we have set our database. See, name is Django, owner is this I think this should be user, not owner. Capsule user, then password, and then that host. I think other things are what are okay. Then I need to save. Now let me do what? Let me save. Save. So when I try to create a super user, now they say that okay, let's first run migrations. But let's first make migration and run migration. So the beautiful thing with Django is that it provides ORM, that's object relational mapping, whereby you don't need to like to write SQL by yourself. You see, so you just run migration, then the migration will create tables directly from your classes, which we've defined in the model. So it's Python manage dot py, then uh, Python manage dot py, then manage dot py, then run make migration. Migrations. Make migrations. Now you see it has created a model called student. Then we make those migrations. We make those Python manage.py migrate. That's the command. Now you see it has created all those tables. I was later going to see them. Now let's create our super user. Now the super user, now it's asking us to state the name, but we are going to use the default one, which is Handy. So Handy, because I'm the owner with this desktop. So let us leave it by this way. Then the email, let us use Handy at Gmail at Gmail dot at gmail.com. Then it's asking us the password. Password, let's just use simple password. You can type any password. Me, I'm going to use 1234 1234. Now it's showing that this password is too weak and too short. So since this is a demo, I'm going to type yes to skip the password validation. Now it has created a super user. So so now when I go back to my database and then I refresh it and then I check my Django database, I go to schemas to be able to be showing me the tables which have been, so you see the tables which have been created. there is a table for home student, then these are the default tables, the host group, the host user, and the host permission, and others. So you see it has created our table for students. So now there is no any student because we haven't registered any student. But if you want like to register any student, let us go back to our our development server, and then we type admin, and then when we press enter to ask us to use the username, we say it's Sunny's, then the password is you put the password which you've used it. Does not mean that you use the same password. So when I go to log in, you'll be able to see that there is also authentication and authorization. Then there is what is a class called what students. So when I tap on add students, right? Let me put a name, for example, any name. For example, Julius, Julius, then age, let me put 24 or 23. Then when I go to save, now it will be, you see. So this is the use of how the class we create, which is student admin. So we use the list of display to display name and age. So this is how it's displayed. But if we didn't use that class, then it would have displayed, for example, object one or student one. So this is the thing. And when you check into our database, you'll be able to see this name which has been created. So when you come here and then you refresh again, and then you refresh again, when you refresh again, and you go to database, then you go to our Django, you go tables, you go to student, then you go to columns. Let's go to this one, then you go to view data, and then you say go to view all columns. It will be able to show you that there is one object which has been created, that is Julius, and age 23 years. So now we've created our model successfully. So now let us create the views. But before that, let's create, yeah. So let's create the view. So the views, it's creating this views.py folder. We are going to use class-based views, but if you want, can use, we are going to use function-based views, but there is also another option of using class-based views. So then use the function. So I will say def, then I will say my first view as index. Then to be taking by to take the request. Mm, for now, let's use path. So now let us create a file called URL in this home urls.py, because we'll be accessing our everything. So the URLs. So another thing, when you go to the URLs of the main project, which is this one, MVT, when we go to the URLs of the main project, we need to register our U the U the URLs of the app. So it will be path, which is the path. Then um, since it's the home folder, it's the home thingy, let's not use anything here. But if you want, you can say home. You can either put a slash or don't put this, but me, I want to make it the home URL. So I will say that we include we include um, we are going to include the URLs of the home app, home.urls. But you see, everything you use in Django, which is not imported, will throw an issue. So you need also to import the include function. So you say include it, so we import it from here. What include? Then we do what you save. Now you see it has disappeared. Yeah, now it has disappeared. So in our URLs for the home app, this way we'll be able to register all the URLs for the home app. So we are also going to come into the URLs of the main project, and then we copy this one. will also be using the path, control path. Then we come to the URLs of the, then we say control V. So you come and see. So here this how you type exactly this word. So make sure you type it as URL pattern exactly have like they have typed it. Pattern is URL pattern is equal to we have a path. So let us also make this one home path. Then we are going to call the views dot dot index what index. So whoever goes to the home page will be able must be able to see the views function. What is the view function is rendering? So then you say name. We specify the as name as let's call it index. But as I told you in Django, whichever user and is not and is not imported, it will show what it will throw what it will throw an error. And forget here semicolon. So you see we are using the views but it's not imported. So we are going to say from dot just we import what import the views from our current directory. Import what import is now it has what it has disappeared. Now since we are going to be using the templates, we are going to require the render this render. So I will say that when we are over here, when you call this function, it will return render. Of course, to be what will be a request. This one takes in the request, and then let's assume we are to create our template called home.html. HTML, as I told you, as I told you, for the templates they deal with HTML and then the front end JavaScript. But now we'll be using only the HTML. Then with yeah. So for now, let's do what? Let's do this one. Then here we are going to do instantiation. I think it's as you know, instantiation is creating objects from the class. So we are going to create the objects from the class, which will be able to display in the web page. So remember we created a model called students. So to create object, we say students, students equal to our model students dot objects dot or it's called students dot also here there is this module called objects then dot all. But if you let's suppose now we are using all all method because we want to return all the objects. But let's suppose you are, for example, you are doing serialization, then you want to like to return a particular only like for example one a particular object. You use get or you can also use filter method, many other methods. So, but for now, since we want to return all the objects from the database, we are going to use the dot or use the all method. So but you see here we are using student. The student is not is under because we've not imported it. I said in Django everything use must be imported. So we say from dot models. Then we import what student import us now it what it goes. Then again here we need to create our alias which will be used in the web page in the HTML. So it will be students. We will use an alias called students. So also students 2 plus s. Then now we've defined our model and then the the views. Now what is remaining? It's the template section. Now we are going to create our template. So to create our template, you just come to the this folder we've created, this main project folder. Then you say create. You create a template, and that template we are going to just naming the name as templates. Let's call it templates, right? So it's just a folder. So, but we need to register it in the settings of our project. So we go for settings, then we come to the section of the directories for the templates. Then we say that os.pass.join, os.pass.join, then shift, then this directory to it will be templates. Templates will be what? Will be templates. So yeah, but you see, as I told you in Django, everything you use must be imported. So let us import the OS what? The OS module. So we say import, you just say import what? OS, and then the error will do what? Will disappear. Then you do what? You save. Yeah, what? Let us save everything. Now we've done almost each and everything. Now we are remaining with the templates thingy. Now let's go to the templates and then we create a file. We name it home.html. So let's create some HTML code here. You just shift type a semicolon, then tab. It will create this default thing for you. Then let's change it to home as our title. Then when we go to our body, let's use a div. Let's type div container. So you type div.container. Of course, we want say this div of ours to a container class. Then you press tab to immediately do what? To immediately do it for you. So so we are going to create a paragraph. P tab. This is will be displaying students. Student name, and then the age. Yeah, it will be displaying what? It will be displaying this one. So in Django, we are going to use a for loop. We are going to use this. Okay, in Django, we have different um, way of of rendering code into the HTML. We can use this one, this format. You use this one when you want like to write a Python code in the HTML what template, or you can use this one. You can use this one. This one for it, you will use it when you want to render, for example, an object or anything from the views what from the views folder from the views from the view file. But now we are going to write the Python, the real Python code. We are going to use a for loop. So we use this format to be. This is the Django template format. Yeah, this is the Django template format. So we say we use for. Remember, our object we created was student, so we use for student in students, for student in for student in students. Uh, then again we must end our for loop here. We end our for. We say end for. Yeah, we ended our for. So now we are to display here the name, the exact name which was there. So we say we use this format of double carrying braces. Yeah, double carrying braces or double carrying brackets. Yeah, carrying brackets. So we will say it's student dot name. Then again we'll come here. We also want to render here the name, the age. I mean the age. So we say student dot age. Now we'll do what? So the name will be displayed here. The age will be displayed. As I earlier told you, I said that this current braces with the percent sign for it is used to write Python code. Then it's where you can write your Python code. Then the double carrying braces for them, they are used to get a particular value or a variable, an object from the use what use file. So let's do what? Let's save. So after saving, uh, now let's head over to our development server. Now you see when you go there, it will direct the show name as Julius, then age as age as age is 23. So if we add another another what another name, but for example, let me first change the URL. For example, here if I put home, now it will do what? When I go to our home and I refresh, it will show page not found. Because remember, the other time around I had set it as the home page. So here I first need type home uh, URLs. Yeah, now it has what has shown, but let me keep it as our home page. Uh, so now let us add another name. For example, let's add more students in our database. As I told you, we come to our here at our development server, then we say admin, then enter. Let's add like more students. For example, then also add my name, then age. For example, 80. Then let me add another student. For example, Rachel, then age is having 29. Then I add and save and add another one. For example, Jack, then age is 21. Then I save. Now we've added how many? We've added 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I go to my database, I'll be able to see all these objects which have been so objects. An object it's a row. Each row here, each row here represents an object of the class student. So Jack is an object, Rachel, Hans, and Julius, all of them are what are objects. So when I go to my database and then I do what? I refresh. I go to my database, then I refresh. When I refresh, I go to my databases. Django as our database. Then as when I go to tables, I go to I mean go to a table for students. So when I go to view and then view rows, I'll be able to see all the objects which I've added. Now you see I've added an object Julius, Hannes, Rachel, and yeah, so that is what so that is Django. And also when I refresh our web browser, when I refresh our web browser, you'll be able to see all the objects which have been added. So let me go back to our browser and then I refresh. Now you see there is Julius, Hans, Rachel, and Jack. All of them have been added. So that's the beautiful thing with Django. So Django, it's a very good and popular Python web framework. It's of course Python, of course Django is batteries included. That means it has each and everything required for development. Yeah, so that's how I can show you what MVT means in Django. That's model view template. Yeah, so that's the what I wanted to show you majorly. Yeah, I want my 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 intention was to explain MVT in Django Python web framework. So thank you very much. I highly encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share to your friends because you never know the video might be useful to your friends also. So thank you very much. I remain Hansman, I'm a student at Makere doing software engineering. Thank you so much.